their opponent's Inferno. So should be a nice little clash here. fnatic IHC starting on Inferno for elimination of ESL Pro League Season 17, and that's a way to begin it. Mezii, I believe Hank Hollywood was calling him.
Yes, the Australian mezii. Well, he's found himself a great opening. The P250 right away, Dome's Blitz, who Hank Hollywood will also be competing against in a chess match at some point over the next few weeks.
That's a beautiful kill. Look at what it's opened up. This is just going to be, this is a round over. Like just as a call, this is a perfect counter. Annihilation is on his own.
Well, he has to do everything. We'll see how much he can get. It's the first on towards roeJ, under a lot of pressure now, down to 5 HP, and he actually gets a second kill out of that. Finally, nicoodoz will remove him from the site. Here comes a quick rotation up through mid.
That's actually, I mean, he did just enough to make this doable. I'll take it back. I thought that was going to be a much quicker, a much cleaner entrance from fnatic hopping out of halls, and now they've got to hold off this retake.
Well, the P250 still stands, but Techno 4K has kicked things off on the retake. The Joel Berettas! Oh, wow, okay. Techno with the spin. He finds 3 kills and the defuse.
All right, I'll eat a little bit of humble pie here. That's a great, what a round from IHC to recover that. I don't know how that slipped away from fnatic. It seemed they had all the advantage. That was a 4-on-1 coming out of halls with Annihilation inside the bomb site. They let him get away with 2, and obviously Techno with the dualies is disgusting.
That's what you mean when you say the best guns ever, Jason, here. Look at this. Joel Berettas, 2 guns slinging around, and that is just ridiculous.
Nice little spin there. Yeah, well done from Techno.
I noticed they all bring their own pillows along to the chairs.
Yeah, a little bit of lumbar support.
Yeah, it's not a throwback to like traditional lands. Just a home comfort as we head into round number 2. fnatic did get a bomb plant, which means they've got themselves a 4-spy. And that's a pretty good one. They've got 3 MAC-10s and 2 Galeals.
We'll see what they can do with it. Again, it looks like another Halls pop is being set up. roeJ, Crims, and mezii.
This time Annihilation isn't in the site, though. It's Bartek. And we'll see how much he can get done with a FAMAS. I think he's going to be put under a lot of pressure here. Here comes the fight. One for Bartek. Straight away on towards roeJ, but Techno 4K has been smoked off. He throws a counter smoke of his own and moves through with it. And in the meantime, his teammate draws back into the site, and it's a perfect move here for IHC.
Yeah, this is actually great. It's a little chaotic with all the smokes up, and fnatic's just going to have to pause behind it, but it's about time for all 5 players of IHC to get here. And Crims can't wrap around the bomb site. And this second round is falling very flat. All 5 players survive from IHC. A little bit of a cheer, a hoot and holler in the studio.
You love to hear it. And I mean, those moments are exactly what we've come to expect from IHC on Inferno, right? They have a lot of little moves. When you get smoked out mode, you've got a player playing solo site, toss out the smoke, play in front of it, get into the site of your teammate. IHC aren't going to let you just take this site. And their individuals are very crispy, particularly Techno. I think has shown some great mechanical skill over the last few days. Score spots the gap. Crims wasn't ready. And a 2-0 lead for IHC. Now, I was getting some questions because I brought up the story yesterday of how Techno 4K came to be in this team and how he got his opportunity coming out of the Mongolian scene. That's with Kane smashing his hand into a table, celebrating their qualification for the RMR. Now, I think I asked a few more questions about the specifics of it. Unfortunately, I don't have any more information, but perhaps if I see win this, we can maybe talk to them a little bit, figure that out.
Yeah, that'd be a fun story to get all the details from.
I'm sure he's watching this from home. Just
I know, he's like, please shut up.
What could have been?
All right, pretty slow round. fnatic being cautious, moving around the map, looking for any mistakes for those deagles to exploit. Not finding them quite yet. Opening kill for Blitz. Banana very well controlled, and same with brackets in top middle. mezii has no access. roeJ as well. No access as Annihilation playing in Graveyard is holding down the fort.
Here goes Techno 4K, although FASHR just swings out in the deagle, domes him. Down to 3 players here for fnatic, and FASHR was trying to line up another headshot. Tried to stay composed, but maybe took a little bit too long. That scores come in with the rifle, deep peek onto nicoodoz as well, and just all mezii left.
Careful. There's a Glock.
Yeah. He's going to start doing a little bit of damage, but eventually he'll be spotted and taken down. 3-0 lead. This is what IHC do, Jason. They get big leads on Inferno pretty often.
Okay, and yeah, well, we'll see how far they can extend this one. That one is a little bit painful considering how it started. 2 M4s hit the deck that they have to rebuy, so that's some money investment. Those deagles actually panning out pretty nicely for fnatic in round 3. This time they're going to have all AK-47s. Utilities picked up as well, so first gun round here between both of these 2 teams.
Important stuff ahead. We'll see what fnatic's rifles may employ a little bit of speed. mezii's been pretty good in this tournament so far, just kind of leading by example. But the main fight here we'll keep an eye on is nicoodoz and FASHR looking to take fnatic control away from Score and Annihilation, and they've done a pretty good job at that. Kid obviously speaking to you before this, Jason, thinks they've got a good read on their playstyle. Well, they've lost the first player in this gun round.
One thing we noticed yesterday against EG was this IHC defense sometimes playing it pretty passively, falling back, playing deep in the bomb sites right out of the gate. So I think that's kind of what the idea was there. Send roeJ around the corner with a flashbang, see if he can take a fight over towards Pit, and obviously loses out on it. All from Annihilation works out well. He started 4-1, and IHC have a 5-on-3. 2 smokes, no flashbangs, no Molotovs for the fnatic attack. Well, there's some extra utility dropped up towards the top of Banana, but I think it's just one more smoke.
Get a boost Score up into new box. And still another smoke that Crims now has to call to his teammates. It's a bit unfortunate here for fnatic, but eventually they've just got to go, and they're going to smoke out CT.
I mean, they would probably love to have a flashbang right now, because that's a deep smoke they could have lined up in and used a pop flash to get a really, really quick fight out of it, but now they kind of have to wait for it to fade.
Oh, the nade's coming in at a perfect time too. Crims so low, finished off by Score. Just been some great moves so far from IHC. Missed shot, Blitz goes through the CT smoke. mezii now has the clutch, 20 seconds, and still has to clear out the B-bomb site. He has done a very good job there, and Annihilation's low. Luckily swings and connects the shot, but mezii started to believe for a second.
It was this defense starting out in a 5-on-3 and then just closing it out with no issues, no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, I think some of the criticisms in the tournament so far have been that fnatic sometimes played a little bit too individually. Sometimes you'll see roeJ, for example, peeking short alone there. There's no trade potential. And if you're going to just lose that opening, you're going to be in a really tough spot against a team like IHC that's well-versed here on Inferno. And they're down the pistols, upgraded ones for fnatic.
I think we saw that tendency that you just mentioned on the nuke game yesterday,
yeah.
I believe, or a nuke game earlier this week, where they were getting picked apart playing slow. They found the adjustment, they grouped up, and they started being really, really successful. So we'll see if they have any adaptations in their pocket on Inferno if these struggles continue. They do have an avenue to wrap around. Annihilation is stuck behind smoke, so they've got space. It's Bartak and Techno and Pit to defend.
Bartak and Techno doing a very good job together. 2 kills. Make it 3 now with Techno 4K securing it. Bartak still inside of the pit. Just all Crims left, and he is stuck it short. The Tech-9 does have a chance. But as we have discussed at the start of the day, not the old Tech-9 that fnatic used to love. So 5-0 start for IHC.
And you got to say, this is the best start you could ask for if you're IHC. This is absolutely wonderful. They're living the dream right now.
Barely anybody's dying. You've got a lot of money just flowing through the CTs.
Yeah, and outside of maybe the pistol round where you were forced into a retake, they haven't even really been in any kind of sketchy situation whatsoever. So this is a really good start that's going to let them calm down and breathe easy and settle into this game. 5-0, and a first timeout called for fnatic to talk things over.
Yeah, the only time they've had a bomb plant is in that pistol round. Everything else is by elimination. And only 4 players have gone down in those last 4 rounds. So looking very good right now for IHC. And important that fnatic don't let this slip early. As you mentioned at the top of the day, this is the last chance for Group A. We've seen our few teams move through already. Cloud9, Outsiders, and G2. Now we're looking for one more. Eternal Fire, IHC, and fnatic today. Let's see what call fnatic have up their sleeve as we head into round 6. In the previous gun round, they lost roeJ solo towards A. Looking at the group overall, though, Jason, if you look at the remaining teams you've got here, who have you got going through? Because I think Eternal Fire's looked pretty good recently.
Yeah, they have. And I mean, I think with I've mentioned this, everyone is very positive about this fnatic team, and they, and for good reason. Yeah. I think you'd probably put them as the favorite to go all the way through. But I mean, IHC and Eternal Fire both are a little bit of trap matches for them. Both these teams highly skilled and are able to cause some upsets, obviously. So fnatic has a really, really hard day today, despite the fact that neither of the opponents are playing against are any kind of big name. But I'd still kind of lean towards fnatic. Oh, good timing for Techno. Crims turned his back, was about to turn the corner with a flashbang from roeJ. So again, that individual style of sending a player forward, trying to set him up for a challenge, has fallen flat.
Well, roeJ is called as AK-47 the raw sauce, and you can see why. Annihilation peaks and dies. And roeJ now looking to move forward. His teammates coming in behind him. And FASHR was just blown away by that. roeJ also goes down, and now it's mezii fighting the final 30 seconds. He will also fall, leaving only nicoodoz in a 1 versus 2. Now, I see a chance here, Jason. He's got a lot of time.
Yeah, but that fake plan is going to chew a lot of it off. Now he don't think he has time to reposition out of the bomb site itself. He's going to have to just hold on, and that is bad.
nicoodoz sitting in the site. This is kind of fumbled right now. He's under a lot of pressure to the utility, forcing him into the uncomfortable spot of the corner, and they know exactly where he's gone. That's just so well played from IHC.
I mean, that's a clutch. Just, I mean, look, there was a small chance he was going to win that trapped in the bomb site, but a clutch won by utility, both from nicoodoz himself with the Molotov. That might have bought him a few extra seconds to get into a more comfortable position.
Look how much money these guys have, and they didn't have a kit. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, there's a detail you might have to clean up.
They picked up 2 kits.
Yeah, right away. They're like, oh yeah, we haven't bought any kits.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Obviously heard the footsteps out of the Molotov and process of elimination. Good spam. 6-0 for IHC.
Well, it's not really working right now for fnatic and old mezii's call, so we'll have to see if they can figure this out. They might know what they have to do, but executing it is a different story altogether. Here goes mezii, charging up Banana as the front man. There goes around the corner. And mezii swings. One play here, burning, but it's score. He'll at least gets one before being cremated.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, he stayed in the burning in the Molotov just to get that one single kill. Back to the other side of the map, and IHC promptly closes off the choke point. Flashbang to come through. Crims and roeJ going to take control anyways. Brute force. Bartak's got to be careful. Made a footstep, and he goes back for it. That might have been ill-advised. It's all on Techno. What a shot. But now he's overwhelmed. One more kill for him, and disappearing behind the smoke.
Yeah, it's really solid from Techno 4K. And fnatic once again. This is probably one of the better positions they've been in, but it still doesn't feel great. You've got nicoodoz, who's heavily damaged at 32 HP. He'll play inside of the pit. See how IHC get back into this one. You still got some utility left too on Annihilation.
Techno with low HP should hold for the pit peak at this broken wall, and the rest of the rifles try and make their way in, and roeJ puts a stop to it quickly.
Yeah, it's a big P from roeJ. He just drops back into the site again. nicoodoz, remember, is low, but he's got such a strong position. And finally, fnatic will pick up their first round.
Yeah, nicely done from fnatic. That is well done to overcome some of the obstacles there. Techno almost able to string that one back, just like he had the retake in the pistol, almost pulled off the miracle to keep them alive. I think that peek in short from, I think it was Bartak, might have been the ill-advised one. He kind of hesitated. I think if he'd gone with it the first time around, he probably would have gotten at least a 1-for-1, but the hesitation really, really killed him. Nice double kill here at the end from nicoodoz. Low HP, just taking a quick peek up and finding the final. And now it's a IHC timeout as the Mongolians talk over their next round, round number 8.
You better watch out, Jason, because in Mongolia they do some eagle hunting.
Is it eagle or is it hawks?
I think it's eagle hunting.
Okay.
But I'll confirm with you about that. Maybe you'll be fine, Jason. As,
maybe they do a little bit of both.
Maybe it is.
But I think those are cool. I've seen those pictures over the years. Those are sweet. I've always been jealous. I want a pet hawk. Falcon, I guess, maybe not a hawk.
I'd be pretty cool. I mean, it would steer away like any unwanted pests and people. You know, I was looking up at this huge eagle. I think it's called the harpy eagle.
Sure.
And it can literally take monkeys out of trees.
Yeah, and the golden eagle picks up mountain goats and drops them off the mountain, and that's how they get their food. Those are some crazy videos. YouTube that real quick. Score playing behind the smoke. Utility exchange. It's nicoodoz who's taking the brunt of damage, and he's going to eat a little bit more. I thought there was a second nade coming. Down to 13 for nicoodoz.
Oh, he just got absolutely destroyed.
He thinks it's all over.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I've survived the
know.
absolute bloods, but here it comes. The final nade catches you when you least expect it. fnatic once again having to face the problem of being in a 5 versus 4.
Man, this utility, well done from IHC. One kill, you bring FASHR and mezii down to 65 and 66.
Let me look how much utility damage you've got. So on score, 179 utility damage, blitz 145, and the lowest is 35 on Techno 4K. So everyone's kind of chiming in at the moment. This smoke has a big gap, Jason.
That's a huge gap, but at least it's working for blitz. Now it's going to fade at some point. You imagine he's going to want to reposition. He does have a teammate boosted up on flowers behind him. And this is always going to be a B hit. fnatic haven't considered anything else. Annihilation is starting to get a little spidey sense tingling because he's starting to shift over towards CT spawn.
Gonna molly out Coffins. Second Molotov is towards Dark, and that is not going to put Blitz under pressure whatsoever, but it will limit the positions they can play from, so they can focus on Nubox and score on the drop down, on the fadeaway. Takes out mezii, and oh, Annihilation was so close to bringing down the bomb planter, but FASHR's defending, and a second kill on Annihilation allows the bomb to go down, and FASHR is showing why he's called the Masher. He's got a AWP out, and just all Techno left. He's at spawn, and it's very difficult to get past this AWP. He's sprinkling damage onto FASHR. Instead of reloading, switches M4 instead. And he's desperately trying to find a way back into this, but it's going to be hard having to cross into the open for a brief moment. He knows that AWP is pinned at Nubox, but FASHR just isn't peeking. It's the discipline to just stay away, even after you've hit all those shots, just allowing the round to take on over. Yeah, what a fantastic round from FASHR, and IHC really let fnatic get away with one. Huge advantage going into the B-bomb set, a 2-on-4 at one point. And I can understand Score. You can kind of understand both of these peaks, but I mean, the problem is none of his teammates, they just get pinned down by the AWP. The other two players hadn't quite gotten over. You can understand that initial swing trying to just drop the bomb and prevent the plant and win by time. fnatic's going to call a second timeout to make sure they can string rounds together, or a third round together. And for IHC, it might be like a little bit of a blessing to have this timeout because they're in a weird money situation. We were just talking about how rich they were. Well, that's been chewed into over these past few losses. There's all those kits they had to buy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that is, yeah, it's kind of crazy. fnatic just 2 rounds up, and now IHC having to shake the coffers out a little bit. Yeah, descending into a half buy. They still have like a lead to play with, so you don't want to kind of force a buy and then they get completely broken. So I like this call, and Annihilation will keep as much money as he can for the AWP. They obviously have a 2-round loss bonus built up as well. And this one they'll just have to play it a little bit differently with the pistols. Deep Molotov for mezii to prevent a peek. Oh! Well, it's intended to do that, but Blitz decides to run through it and actually rips apart mezii right away. Annihilation getting tagged up in FASHR. I think he knew that USP drop might screw him, and that's exactly what happened. I think fnatic saw it over the boards. Half wall smoke. No reason for fnatic to challenge it against a pistol. They're just persistent and pesky. Getting a couple of shots here, but Score really shouldn't be getting much out of this. Respect the attempt, though. Yeah, you got to. The amount of players that just swing out and fight, that's the best way to play around like this. It is actually eagle hunting they do, so it's the golden eagle hunting. Okay. They have a whole festival about it. So Mongolia just seems like a pretty cool lifestyle, honestly. It's so cool. Especially in the modern day era, they haven't really stayed away from tradition. It's pretty cool. Let's see if they are able to hunt some fnatic players in this round. Doesn't really seem like there should be too much, but if they commit into B, maybe this trap light for them could work. It's a cool rotation. It's cool timing to hit this stack. It's just the weaponry, unfortunately. Like one flashbang would be great to have, a nade, a Molotov, anything to make this hit a little discombobulated or weakened. Oh, good flash. Unfortunately, all the utilities on the side of fnatic, all the weaponry, and now the entire round, third on the board for fnatic. Yeah, well played from fnatic, and they're starting to get into this T half, but you mentioned it at the start of the last round, Jason. It was more of a conservative approach for IHC. They went for the half buy, so they could buy into this one, and they still got a 3-round lead even after conceding the previous. So they're going to get the AWP out on Annihilation. They'll have the rifles on every other player and plenty of utility. So this is where we get to see if fnatic really are going to settle into this first half and make something of it, or if IHC are going to be back to winning ways. And you can see, too, fnatic have kind of thrown away that initial game plan they had of activating like an individual player to try and find like a one-on-one heads-up challenge. We saw roeJ try and do it towards short, towards lane into pit. We saw Crims try to do it on rap side. Both of those fell flat. And now fnatic's playing a little bit more grouped up. Cool. Annihilation's going to pull away from that top mid fight. As you mentioned, there is a big group of players here for fnatic around top mid at the moment. roeJ, again, is always finding some space. He's pushed up close towards long. He might be set up here to fight Blitz. A really good flash in nicoodoz. The old Flames boys pull off the first kill, and roeJ's going to continue through the archway. Techno in the library. Well, he is silenced. roeJ continues to move through spawn. This is incredible from roeJ so far. Annihilation has to step up here.
I don't know if he can get more than one in this position. Blinded, obviously. It clears. Yeah, just one. Surely this is traded.
Oh, misses the shot. That's not what you want to see here for IHC after having so many clean rounds to kick this off. fnatic come back with what is going to be a flawless round here.
Yeah, really good utility again from fnatic. The flashbang for roeJ on Rap's side, which is great against Blitz, and obviously the flashbang that made Annihilation just feel really awkward in a scenario where he had to be aggressive to try and hold on to the round. 4 straight now for fnatic.
This is what UKCS was meant to be.
Okay.
This is what we needed for a long time. You know, I used
just
to...
one player in an international team?
That's it. Smooya was not the one. We were always waiting for mezii to ascend.
Smooya had his moments.
Smooya did have his moment. He is incredibly individually gifted, but just to... You know, he's been around a couple of teams and had a lot of chances.
Been over in North America, played for a German team.
That was a wild time, wasn't it?
That was a crazy time.
Smooya in North America.
Simpler times. Second time out for IHC, as they're the ones who need to find a little bit of a change in how they want to play this defense. It all looked so good for the first 6 rounds, and now fnatic chipping away at the lead. And once again, a round where they're not going to have a whole lot to play with. Score has an M4, but outside of that, it's going to be pistols. Not enough money to scrape together any more rifles or SMGs. Full losing bonus built up for IHC.
A lot of people don't know that Kita, the coach of fnatic, used to be a replay observer, used to work back in the production a couple of last events. And what a way you go from the production back into the coaching side of things, and now you're here at Pro League with fnatic, and you've heard the playoffs of a major in the previous major. It's kind of crazy.
I think he spent some time as like an assistant coach or an analyst for a team as well.
He was with Complexity's coach as well.
That's right. Yep,
so
that's the one.
He's been everywhere.
Good for you. Good for him.
Yeah, very good for him. And not so good for IHC at the moment. A couple of Deagles at 5-7. And then for A1S. nicoodoz. What a great game he had yesterday. On Nuke in particular. Let's see how he gets this AWP to work on the T side. Now, a lot of Opers can struggle to find some impact.
I think Score wants to challenge here pretty bad. Yeah, there's the smoke guy who put out the Molotov, a flashbang and a nade from Blitz, but it's mistimed. They wanted to kind of set up that trap for him to pounce, but fnatic wasn't nearly as committed as they would have liked with that utility. So now shifting over towards the other side of the map, they show a little bit of intimidation at the B bomb site, and IHC in a 4v5 stack up, but Techno and Bartak gonna push again. Close to the corner. Actually, all 4 players to collapse on brackets.
And FASHR's just holding with the AK, and now the time to go, but he's not checked the left side, and that's going to cost them a couple of kills. IHC with pistols are up 2, and now they've got a rifle. Can mezii recover this? He's got nicoodoz's scope out to his left side. In the meantime, King Crim's trying his best, but mezii's just going to fall. This is a horrible round so far from fnatic, but Crims just keeps pulling it back. Crims all the way, and nicoodoz will assist him. 4K for Crims. Otherwise, if he doesn't get that, Jay, so that's a pistol massacre coming in.
Yeah, that's a fantastic round as well from Crims. I mean, such a strong position in Boiler as well as they're attacking. There's so much safety in it. He's obviously picking them off. His teammates are going down on the other side, but Blitz and Score, unfortunately, never get a clean fight with Crims.
Well, actually, that was a pistol round, so now we're going to see them buy up into the AWP again. They'll have the rifles, but you really got to see something out of them. They look so good at the start of this Inferno, but they've completely fallen off a cliff.
Completely.
Oh, I love that boost setup. nicoodoz gets thrown up on top of his teammate's head, and Blinded gets a second. Blitz down, and the B bomb site's completely open.
Oh, this defense is just getting picked apart all of a sudden. What a calamity. Crims looking for Annihilation to just wander into his crosshair. He's already a little bit past it, but as we've seen, a lot of the moves at this A bomb site when things start to go wrong is a little bit of aggression. So Crims and roeJ were ready for it. They don't want to mess with it. It's going to be a free B bomb site, a 6th round for fnatic. And the question becomes, do they want to hunt down these guns that IHC is going to try and save?
Well, Crims is over here on this side of the map, so we could definitely think about doing that. He has a bit of extra cash at 10K nearly. Yeah,
they have the money for it. I think the question becomes, since the save call obviously came out so early for IHC, they're really bunkered down in pit. It's hard to crack into this when 3 players decide to save that early on.
Yeah, they get such a fortress setup. You just late round, you swing out of the apartment. It's just the final few seconds of the round. Just check the pit, but
they're going for it. They're chucking utility around, so we are going to see them challenge and try and chase down some of these guns. This is that boost up from nicoodoz. Back into the live action. There goes one of the weapons. Good find from roeJ. It's getting worse.
Oh, Crim's having a knife out.
I don't know if he was actually going for it, but they are not going to take everything away. Annihilation stands strong inside the bomb site, but that's well worth for fnatic.
Yeah, definitely getting rid of the majority of the weapons there. At least Annihilation keeps the most expensive one, but we're all tied up. Considering the lead for IHC, they're going to be feeling real frustrated about letting this one slip. This could have been a really strong CT half. And now the best case scenario is 9-6, and we haven't really seen anything over the last few rounds, Jason, that leads us to believe that's even a possibility. And they've gone for the conservative approach again here.
Crim's playing with the camera. I don't think I've seen that in his long and storied career until today.
Gotta love Crims, man. Just the fact that when we were doing that Champions of Champions this morning, like you look at the Fnatic teams, and Crims is just a feature of so many of the rosters, and he's still here playing at this level.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome.
That felt like a nicoodoz nicoodoz just gets another similar pick towards Top Banana. Techno exposed to mezii, and it's all done again. Yeah,
IHC needs to get a little bit of patience in this second half. They're starting to really get picked apart super early in these rounds, and they're getting picked and players dying in positions where it allows Fnatic to work the map really, really well and opens up so many options for them. So these early deaths that IHC is giving over are just making Fnatic's life very easy.
Here comes Score. He's had some nice shots already, but reads roeJ. And he's just looking to hang on to this. I think the problem with IHC is they've played, sure, when they turn up the Katowice with Inferno in their back pocket, it looks sick because they pull up a couple of upsets. But when you come to another event, I think Pro League really exposes your weaknesses because you're going to play a lot of games. It really shows that you don't have a deep map pool. Inferno is going to be watched by every one of their opponents. Yeah,
that's like the next evolution of any team, right? Like coming to compete at this level is, you know, it's cool to see some of those upsets, but then you have to. Who did?
Score just got 0-5.
Beautiful. Okay, good for Score. Saving the op. But yeah, you're right. And obviously, wins over teams like Cloud9, wins over teams like Inferno. That's going to kind of indicate to everyone it's time to look at your Inferno and be a little bit of afraid of it, at least respect it. That's exactly what we heard from Kita as well. A lot of respect for the game that IHC's been playing. But for the moment, his game plan has put them up by a round. They've come back into this game 7 in a row for Fnatic. A game of swings.
nicoodoz, he's been opening things up pretty well, and he's charging up towards top middle this time instead of Banana to try and get this first kill, and he might just get that chance. Techno 4K just dry peeks into the open and gives nicoodoz an easy kill.
I think nicoodoz has had the opening in the past 3 rounds.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, and even 3 rounds ago, he had a double opening.
And it's too easy as well. He's not really having to work for it. Just goes for a peek.
Yeah, they're kind of walking right into him. Annihilation, okay, flirting with the idea. And nicoodoz had given up the angle already. Blitz is going to have a very tough job. Fnatic lining up with 4 players at the B bomb site. You've got nicoodoz with his AWP just lurking to pick off any kind of push or rotation.
Well, Blitz looking to exterminate some Fnatic players. He's got utility left, so he can buy some time. In the meantime, you don't see like an aggressive lurk player with an AWP all that often, but that's maybe why. Good flash out from Annihilation. Score swings. Now Fnatic have lost that opening advantage, and there's a gap to play with again. Blitz gets underneath it, going through, blinded. Finally, mezii will take him out, but Score's rotated over here. He's in a pretty good position, and that smoke is going to ruin his chances.
Almost a wonderful play. The information on Rap side and brackets that no one's coming, and then obviously Blitz being able to put down that defensive smoke, make that hit a little bit complicated for Fnatic. Do they go for this? There's kits on the ground. Annihilation, we can see it right there. Pick one up. A little bit of utility. Bartek can smoke off Banana if he needs to, but this is a very tough retake if they're not given a gift.
Yeah, that would have been a gift, I think. That shot towards Nubox, on towards FASHR. He's close, but... Oh, he's hit him again. He's hit him twice to the AWP. But it's just not enough damage coming through. Luckily, FASHR was a player with some health. And IHC have to concede. It's Fnatic winning the half out already here. I wouldn't have said that considering the start we've just seen, but Fnatic have really very good.
Great discipline from fnatic as well. Just nobody giving over that peak that IHC was looking for, just holding strong on the 3-on-2. And one AWP is brought into the next round, 8-6, and an M4. Final round of the first half.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of these gimmicks. I think a lot of teams were talking about when I was asking the questions about gimmicks of IHC, what do they do? You can see that that's kind of it. There's a little gap on that smoke towards B that Blitz likes to play around. They have a couple of cool boosts they like to go for. But once you kind of watch those and realize there were some of the moves to look out for, they don't really find as much success.
And I'll tell you what, this aggression, these positions in Banana have really backfired for like the past 4 or 5 rounds now. Another opening kill for fnatic in Banana. And the early peaks in aggression from IHC is actually their undoing. Annihilation with the AWP trying to peek around the smoke, but again, great utility. He goes down for free, and IHC completely lose control of this opening half of Inferno.
Just 2 players left, Bartek and Techno 4K. To have to attempt it due to it being the last round of play in the first. But way back in is very hard to see at the moment. Bartek's coming back over from Speedway. But fnatic are safely tucked inside of this B site. They've even got nicoodoz out towards Banana. Sure, some utility for IHC, but fnatic have some of their own, and they're just holding them back. Techno 4K not seeing any opportunities arising towards him. They have smoked off Banana at least, and Techno gets caught through the smoke by nicoodoz. Not the player I was expecting to close it. Here we go. fnatic pull it back. 9-6 lead versus IHC in the final day of Group A.
Gotta win it all like we supposed to. Dominate the game like we supposed to. Dodging all lanes like we supposed to. I just wanna play like we supposed to. Gotta win it all like we supposed to.
I'm awake, I'm alive. I am the cake and the prize. I've been feeling energized. I ain't into telling lies. Got a draw like Enterprise. I ain't tripping off of pride. I've been in my bag. I ain't really gotta brag. I was posting on the app. See they getting mad. I be dripping with the swag. I be dripping with the sauce. I don't care what it costs. I might take a loss. That's the price of a boss. I might pull up like a horse. 911 on the Porsche. I've been bowling like a sport. I've been bowling like LeBron. With some women hella fine. I ain't into wasting time. I've been on my grind. I've been trying to shine. Hold up. Better don't stop. Better don't stop. 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 It's that real life Avengers. I be really in the trenches. I done came up off the benches. I be really getting splinters. I ain't tripping off an image. I be rocking something vintage. Pop up with the spinach. I ain't here to let you finish. In the booth, I'm a menace. I'm the truth and the chemist. I be pushing all the limits. I ain't never moving timid. I be really in my bag. I be dripping with the swag. I might pull up like a cab. Somewhere where the birds chirp. I be on the moon. I might mess around the curve earth. I be on the moon. I might mess around the curve earth. I be on the moon. I might mess around the curve earth. I be on the moon. I might mess around the curve earth. I be on the moon, I might mess around the curve. I be on the moon, I might mess around it. Hold up. Better don't stop. Better don't stop. 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 Hold up.
Thank you for joining us here at ESL Pro League. It's currently 9-6 for fnatic versus IHC on IHC's map pick of Inferno, the classic map where we see the Mongolians do battle. How are you watching today's matchup? Let us know at hashtag ESL Pro League. You can enter the mailbag too. We did that this morning, Jason.
Yeah.
I seem to have cultivated some babyface lovers, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Babyface fan base.
Yeah, that's it.
Good
That's the market I should definitely look into.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a weird game. It's been two runs from each team in the first half, and they were both extremely dominant. It was like the other team didn't even have a chance. And obviously, if the scoreboard shows the whole thing, 6 rounds in a row to start the half for IHC, and then from 0 to 6, fnatic comes storming back to win 9 in a row to end the half. So a little bit weird, a little bit crazy. And now we got dualies on roeJ back at the balcony. nicoodoz as well at the broken wall in pit, FASHR in support. But roeJ with these dualies is going to have a huge role to play.
The P2000, a classic weapon used in a classic way by nicoodoz. A good headshot, roeJ on the double with the dualies, and nicoodoz is just staying alive, buying as much time as he can. And no, he does a little bit more than that. Lovely work from nicoodoz.
Oh, that op got him warmed up in the first half. That's a beautiful pistol round from nicoodoz. That first kill helps roeJ so much with the dualies.
That's a very tiny keyboard, or roeJ just has huge hands.
One or the other. Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah, this is slaughtered. And I mean, this is even like a different look at the Hulls pop, right? Normally at a Hulls pop, you have some utility being thrown from middle, a smoke, and a flashbang being chucked over. This is all 5 players hopping out of Hulls, so they handle it fantastically.
Well, this is unfortunate for IHC. They started so well. Maybe this is the part in the story where you present the problem to your character, and then they must figure it out during the middle. And then they find a way to make it all right in the end, or this is going to be a tragic movie.
It depends on who the hero in your story is, right? Because we had fnatic with the problem in the early going of this game in the first half, and then they found the solution, and they overcame it.
Multiple ways of looking at this one.
Yeah.
And right now, IHC should get absolutely destroyed. They just have a couple of Glocks, an upgraded weapon in the form of a deagle for Blitz.
And fnatic's challenging at brackets, so without any kind of a flashbang or smoke or Molotov or anything, this crossfire is going to be devastating.
roeJ holds for 3, and he's tucked into the corner. mezii comes around and sweeps up the rest. It's just too easy right now for fnatic. They're heading another level, and unfortunately, IHC haven't shown us anything, but quite often they can have good T sides, and that is what we're looking forward to, because now they've got the AK-47s out. Big problem towards the end of that first half, Jason, was the fact that fnatic were just winning pretty much every fight in the opening duels.
Yeah, the nicoodoz effect with the AWP, like finding opening picks everywhere on the map was pretty crazy. That really helped fnatic secure that run. I'll say yesterday as well, when we watched IHC on Inferno against EG, they did a good job of taking banana. They started to be really effective at taking control of top banana. We'll see if they can do that here. Obviously, different competition, and fnatic will play it a little bit differently, so there might be new challenges presented to them. But at the moment, I think IHC's, obviously the first step is let's kind of break this momentum. Got to get something feel good. Put 1 round on the board before we start talking about a consistent solution. And it's passive to open up for IHC. Only Techno really and Banana score, and Annihilation in support. But fnatic keeping this take at bay with smokes at the half wall.
This could be fun. mezii or Crims.
Deep retake.
Yep, here we go. Utilities dumping right on top of Techno, and here they go. Set off around the corner. Crims actually gets caught on a flash, but luckily he has a lot of teammates with him, and they're going to take 2 kills and leave IHC in a real tough spot. That's the kind of move you need to take. You have to take a risk, and Score goes through the side of the smoke and gets a double. They're looking for Crims, but they just can't find him. And Crims with the MP9 inside of the smoke is able to help out his team. It's just all Blitz left, the 1 versus 2.
Yeah, he did take down Crims eventually through that smoke, and now hustling into the B bomb site. roeJ and FASHR are going to split up. Blitz has time. He's got health. That smoke's going to give him a little bit of breathing room for the moment, but he's got to position himself nicely and moving back towards new boxes to try and isolate his fights.
A man that knows how to make some moves. We'll see what he decides to go with here first. Just patience at the new box. We've seen time and time again how difficult it is. And they've got utility, so they'll force him out, force him to move over to the pillar. And he now looks to pull for the first headshot. He might actually get that chance. And roeJ bet they see him peeking around the corner slightly, and roeJ will impale him with a few bullets. That's going to be the round for fnatic. Secure 12 rounds now. This has just been a one-way street, Jason.
Yeah, 12 rounds in a row. But I got to say, I really like that setup from fnatic, that delayed retake of Banana. When they get the sense that IHC has moved in, tons of deep Molotovs to flush them out of positions, deep smokes to deny vision to the support, and obviously you're able to just take down that initial player and rattle off plenty more after the fact.
And even when Score looks like he's done enough to pull it back, Crims has to step up with the MP9, was able to get behind him.
They even read that play. They just couldn't find him inside the smoke.
They just couldn't get him,
Yeah. 12 rounds straight now for fnatic.
Well, let's see if nicoodoz can just continue to be the key. He's just opening up everything. Right now, probably more of a battering ram.
Look at the way fnatic want to fight for banana control. They don't want IHC to have any comfort in this part of the map. A lot of utility being dumped and spent with that third player here. Crims this time goes down. Score opens things up. It's going to pull nicoodoz back towards the B bomb site, and mezii falls next.
Score is just so good to watch mechanically. Here he goes, continues to run forward. nicoodoz peeks around, and Score finally removed, but he's done so much for his team. He's created space, and this is the best looking round for IHC in a long time.
Yeah, they have to win this. The question is, can nicoodoz grab one more kill before the retake begins? Are fnatic going to go for it? roe's still all the way over at the A bomb site, and I think they might just give it up. roe's not moving. So this round is going to be IHC finally breaking the 12-round streak off the back of Score's double opening up Banana.
Scores look so good. Sure, he had that ace when he was saving AWP. This bolsters his kills a little bit, but he still looks very crispy. And the only shining light right now for IHC. That's a difficult round to win as well. I mean, you didn't have all the weapons needed. You didn't have all the utility. You just won because fnatic maybe got a little bit too aggressive in a round like that. To be honest, Crims just really wanted to fight Banana, runs down, gets caught, and that just opens up a bit of a hole.
Yeah, I think Crims and fnatic will probably feel like that should have worked. Crims will probably feel like he should have had the advantage in that round. Remember, they did dump a lot of utility down there, so as we saw in the previous round, it's kind of seems part of their game plan is to control this part of the map, even in that mid-round, those late takes.
I see some Score highlights here. Just having a look back at some of his best moments. That was definitely the top of it, I think.
That third nade coming down. This is the round he gets that ace, as you mentioned.
Pretty nice shots. So it was a long time in Mongolia where they had all these different teams. Like they had Tiger, they had Checkmate, and you had so many, and you even had the team with Machine Gun who came back for a while. And we were just waiting. It was so obvious that there could have been like a really sick team made out of it. And we were just waiting for the time when Mongolia would finally put one super team together with all the best pieces of all these different teams. It took a long time, and that's why we've seen Vici and we've seen Tyloo at the top of Asia. And then IHC finally put all those Mongolian players into one team, and it's created IHC.
It's yielded some great results, and now the question becomes, what's the peak? How high can they go?
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously some things to work on. The first thing that comes to mind is map pool.
And getting their actual full 5 players.
And let's see if they can stop this. Mid push for fnatic. You can see roeJ already working down. Deagle on Crims. He's brought very low.
Good shot from roeJ. I love this aggression. This is just a little bit mental, but it has worked. It's got one, and unfortunately for roeJ, gets shredded. This is going to be a quick call from the side of IHC to attack in towards this B-bomb side, and mezii gets absolutely destroyed. In fact, he's burned away Crims. His teammate's down too.
Techno just shot Score on the side of the head of the Tech 9.
What is happening?
Flying a little bit intimidated. Yeah, this round we got a little hectic for both teams.
Backstabbing everywhere. Now it's a march, straight up. Here we go. Another round for IHC. Is this the start of a comeback, Jason?
It could be. Money's gone for fnatic. Crims is dead and mezii's dead. They both have $0 in the bank, as you can see. Not a whole lot of cash built up. So really these weapons, this AWP and the AK-47 on nicoodoz and FASHR are the only weapons they'll have in the next round. So now becomes the question of how fnatic's going to play with their economy in the next one. And how deep they want to dig into the playbook. We just saw the mid push from roeJ, only net him a 1-for-1, and I mean that's kind of fine. He's on sort of like a suicide mission in a sense, right? Like he's there to fight until he dies. There's really not a whole lot of safe escape routes you can have when you push all the way down mid. 4-round lead. IHC have taken the money away, and they want to close this gap a little bit further off the back of it.
Yeah, and they have to know how much Inferno means to this series as a whole, because yesterday... That's so ridiculous. Oh, Crims.
I wonder if he thought that was like a yeah, he had to have thought that was a CG coming through in all the chaos. He's confused.
Huh? This would be one of the most chill human beings on this planet, though. That's the reaction he has, burning his own teammates Molotov.
Well, it's chill because they're 12-8. If it was 8-12, it'd be a little bit different.
Yeah, true.
Oh, the nade stack, the boost up gets red and picked off by nicoodoz. 1 for 1 in Banana, and he's going to go for more. Sees the player over at logs. I don't think he actually wants to mess with this fight a whole lot.
Well, let's see if this boost works out for fnatic. I like the idea of putting FASHR in an unexpected position. But he has just come off of it now, and here they come around the corner. FASHR does some damage, but gets caught from behind. Just too much to handle for him, and you would have liked the AK to be the weapon that had that space and that time. But it is at least something for roeJ, and nicoodoz from Library sends a shot out. It will connect onto Blitz, leaving just 2 on either side. And ooh, the USP is doing its best here, but it's all about the AWP. It's all about getting nicoodoz in a position where he's able to fight. They're making some noise on this boost. But very intelligent from IHC, not giving this up, not over-peaking. There's a player in that mini pit at the moment, but they're just not giving fnatic any chances.
Yeah, follow-up smoke as well. That should seal the end of it. That should be a save call from fnatic. nicoodoz start to run away, see if mezii can maybe go towards middle and pick up an AK-47. There was one dropped in boiler. Unlikely, but you might be able to make it. Although he's not going to mess with that at all. So, 9th round for IHC.
Really are starting to come back into this now. And again, you know, you look at Inferno and how important it is for IHC. Overpass up next. Not a map that IHC have shown proficiency on. Sure, they played it over in Brazil against the Outsiders. That's the map that's the matchup they reference whenever you ask them about Overpass. And they felt, well, we played them somewhat close. And then we've seen them actually have to play it in this tournament. I think the CT side, as Chad mentioned earlier today, didn't look so great. So for me, if you're going to see IHC win this series, they have to pick up Inferno. And right now behind. And here come fnatic back with some money to play with. That means all the guns, all the utility. We'll probably see a change up in how they approach Banana. As you mentioned earlier, Jason, they were really wanting to get a lot of control early, but now a little bit more passive off the start of the round.
Double stacking holes, roeJ and FASHR. Oh, this could obliterate everything. IHC's coming right at this. Techno's going to be the first. Oh, 1 for 1. Great trades from IHC. They're going to pick up the pace. nicoodoz is here.
Goes into the fight. That's incredible. He actually just runs up and he gets the mid pick too. nicoodoz is on one right now, and he stayed alive. Flash goes up. nicoodoz burned out of position, but doesn't care. He'll reposition quickly behind the safety of the pillar. In the meantime, though, his teammates are getting caught and scoring the double. Suddenly, it's all just nicoodoz to pour out the clutch, and another incredible shot. He's on for a 4K, but he's up against the sharpest tool and score! And oh, damn! nicoodoz with all the shots, great movement, and that is what you love to see from nicoodoz.
What are you supposed to do when a guy's hitting shots like that? Everything from nicoodoz is perfect. The risk to jump up on Haycart to get the first, reads the follow-up player in middle. Obviously plays it fantastic inside the bomb site. The flashbang into the sky is what bought him the time to actually get into some modicum of safety. That's a fantastic round from nicoodoz.
The amount of openings he's finding, now he's finding clutch kills, mid-round kills, just so much impact from this AWP right now, and he's playing it in a really risky way.
I can't believe he hit that shot. That one on Annihilation, he didn't have a whole lot of a chance to hit it.
This is the kind of nicoodoz that you see sometimes. Sometimes it goes a little missing, but then you get moments like this, you're like, damn, imagine if you could play at this level consistently.
And it's been one of the kind of like the conversations around fnatic is nicoodoz' level going into various events is what kind of one are you going to get? And obviously here, it's a beautiful version of nicoodoz.
Well, IHC still have a buy at least, but they will feel a little red-faced. I think he just got spanked by nicoodoz, so...
yeah, this is where you got to have someone on the team who's just confident in the fact that you put yourself in a good position, even if it's ripped out of your hands. mezii again, deep down middle. They go for this push one more time. Perfect flash from Crims. That's from Banana.
Now they know because they've just cleared out Banana, so you have to realize that the rest of the forces are going towards A.
Well, you might think they're stuck behind the smoke. You might not expect this kind of a waterfall, but I don't think there's going to be nades to set this up. They're just going to walk out. Hard clear onto FASHR. Easy kill for him. Annihilation gets the trade, and now no defense from fnatic is present.
Yeah, they didn't get to the site, but roeJ is still fighting it. Nice shot onto the AWPer. And just down to 2 players. This one not looking great for IHC. We're just looking at a few moments away from fnatic's 14, unless Bartek and Techno 4K can dig themselves out of this.
Bartek has the bomb, though, and he's deploying all this utility to give him some safety, but he's got to relinquish the pit position. So now they're both going to be stuck in the bomb site in a 4-on-2.
At least there's no utility for fnatic. That is what's positive here, but Crims immediately catches ball attack looking the wrong way. Tekno's position now giving up. A good double, but that's all you can really hope for as fnatic pull off the retake. They stay composed, they find their way back in, and now they're looking at 14 rounds.
Yeah, good looking 14 rounds.
And they look so relaxed right now too for the Fnatic side.
That library smoke just came out. That small pit smoke just came out just so late. Once this actually happens, because they're going contact, right? So you're this kill right here. If roeJ can't get that, if that smoke is plumed, it's a weak smoke as well. It's a bad smoke with a gap, and it's a little too shallow. But man, if that one's there and prevents that kill, very strong position for IHC. 14-9. And a 14-3 run for fnatic.
FASHR is often found towards Boiler. He's there again, but fnatic might start to force the issue a little bit more, but Score is underneath the boost. He's actually being tagged by that Molotov, so they know he's there. And so on the other side of things, they will not be forcing the issue anymore. They'll not be staying up on that boost. Score is forced all the way up towards Car, and oh, it's tough to see him get out of that one. They know where he is. They've locked him in with the sound cues. And eventually nicoodoz comes around the corner with the AWP. Gets rid of him, and in this form, I'm not betting against nicoodoz hitting that shot, to be honest. He's pretty close to it.
Just have to reload that AWP. One bullet. Him and Crims back away. Content with the man advantage. And IHC very deep on the map. They haven't progressed anywhere. There's that boost up in Boiler again, and mezii's getting the courage to rotate over to the B bomb site, which seems to be the correct call.
nicoodoz, another one. And he's going to just keep going, but finally, Annihilation, even while blinded, commits to the kill. mezii swung into the open, set up with a flash himself. It's a 1-for-1. IHC with 23 seconds still have to deal with Crims inside of this B site, and there's a quick flank coming up Banana right now. Crims just needs to stay alive. The longer he stays alive, the more this round looks good for fnatic. roeJ gets one in the flank, then Crims intelligent. And that's map point for fnatic. I'm interested to see what the most one-sided Inferno scoreline has been recently for IHC, because it feels like at least they get 12 rounds at least pretty much every time. But I'm looking back here, and it was actually 16-13 against Outsiders. They lost. They played Inferno versus EG. It was a 16-10 win. It seems like this is probably going to be one of the most one-sided Infernos going against IHC.
They've taken. Yeah. Well, they've really relinquished a good grip on this match that they had in the first half. Huge challenge in Banana, 3 players for IHC, but this is a really rough buy to try and stay alive in this map. Crims is going to be up on the sandbags, but again, smokes and Molotovs forcing IHC to just give up the fight. Not a whole lot of damage dealt, but denying access. Bartak with the only rifle, just to Galil, and he's going to take a peek up middle.
nicoodoz still looking for 30, would have to ace if they want to end this round. I don't think that's happening because Crims is under quite a bit of pressure, but there is one player that can handle that pressure and not crack. It would be Crims, who just gets 2 right away. Now the rotation is starting to come back in. The cavalry will arrive, and the push to the smoke. I don't see this going very well for Blitz, but he actually body blocks into one player and manages to get away with one, but it's just Annihilation, and it will be fnatic that dish out the most one-sided defeat on Inferno for IHC this year. They figured them out. Kita didn't lie.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great start for IHC and just let it go in the first half. 6-0 to 16-9. That is a massive run for fnatic. Good recovery, good win. That's map 1. The rest of the series is coming up shortly. We'll be right back at ESL Pro League.